all you can really say is wow. What's up, guys? It's JJ, and welcome back to Victory Lane. So, I literally just turned the race off of this TV that's sitting right here. For the second time, I turned it off. So, yeah, it was a rain crazy race that was supposed to be run last night. Ended up being run at 9 a.m. my time here. Yeah, it was crazy. You know, at the end you had a 9-car pack there for the last about 20 laps once they went green again. But let's dive right into the race. So the big storyline coming in was, of course, with it being the last race of the regular season, was, you know, who's going to be in the playoffs. You know, you've got 14 spots now with the Kurt Busch situation, where he was not going to be cleared for the beginning of the playoffs. So 23-11 and Kurt Busch, I guess technically, decided they weren't going to pursue a medical release waiver. You know, I'm not going to judge whether or not it was a ploy to try to get Martin Truex into the playoffs. If he was really hurt and was at least definitely going to miss the first round, I totally understand that. You know, maybe he would have been back for Bristol and could have gotten a win at Bristol. We've seen Kurt be great at Bristol several times. That would have gotten him through, but you never know. It's not going to happen like that. So there were 2 spots that had come open even since my last Victory Lane episode. So you had Ryan Blaney and Martin Truex Jr. Blaney was 25 points ahead of Truex going in, but if there was another winner that had not previously won a race, so a new winner, only one of them was going to make it in. So, you know, stage 1, it's going along. You know, Blaney is up toward the front. And then around lap 30, Eric Jones gets turned. Just check up, basically, is all you can really say. Blaney's involved in that with pretty significant damage. You know, that took him out of any kind of contention the rest of the race. Honestly, me and the announcers on the broadcast both thought, you know, he was probably done for the day. The car looked junked. They were able to somehow fix it up and meet minimum speed. And so he was able to turn the laps. And I want to say he finished like 6 laps down, I want to say, at the end of the race. But ended up finishing in 15th. So then we move on. Stage 2. I think there was a wreck. Yeah. But my brain kind of went out of race mode for the 5-hour delay that we sat through. So I don't really remember stage 2, honestly. Must not have been a lot of significant stuff. You know, there were some, I do remember a wreck or two, but really where it gets good is with about 50 laps to go, they start talking about there's weather. There's weather right on the, right outside the track. You know, we could see the TV broadcast would pan to the dark clouds. We could see them. We could see the rain falling back behind the track. And we knew it was just a matter of time. The drivers definitely did, because the intensity just went through the roof. And, you know, at that point it was like, I think they met, I think it was Steve Letarte made a great point that as a crew chief, you're just telling your driver at that point, drive every lap like it's the last lap. And man, were they for about 20 laps. And then there was a wreck. They go back green, and that's when there's a massive wreck. That gets into the whole, really what it looked like was, and I think what has kind of been confirmed now was, you know, the track was wet when they came into, I think it was turn 1. And so the first 3 cars just almost just spun by themselves, basically, because there was no grip. And that took out the entire field, basically. You had a few Rick Ware cars made it through because they were somewhere back in the back that didn't even matter. You had people like Landon Castle make it through. Noah Gragson, very little damage. But the only person really that made it through of any significance was Austin Dillon. So, you know, talking on the rain thing a little bit, I don't blame NASCAR on that call. You know, we have footage and from the broadcast that suggested, you know, it was dry the lap before. It was not raining anywhere else on the track. The rest of the track, there were some sprinkles, but it wasn't heavy enough, I don't think, for a caution. You know, some of the drivers that come out of that wreck now are saying, you know, we were saying it was wet, it was wet, it was wet. You know, were they really saying that, or is it just them hindsight looking back? You know, if you're up at the front, you know, you might not be calling out rain. So, you don't really know. I don't think you can really blame NASCAR because, you know, if they throw the caution prematurely, there are people complaining about, oh, it wasn't even raining. So why throw the caution, you know? So that's something that I don't really fault NASCAR on. They were in a lose-lose situation there. So they do throw the caution after the wreck, of course. You know, if they should have thrown it earlier, you know, that's debatable. It did tear up a lot of race cars, and you do hate to see that. But, yeah, so they bring all the cars down pit road. Lightning was detected first, and then the rains came. And then, so at that point, I want to say we're about 2 hours into the race, probably. It's around 11:30 my time. The race started at 9. So, yeah, once that rain started coming down, you know, I honestly didn't think we were going to see any more racing. I thought it was over. And at that point, Austin Dillon was going to be in, and Martin Truex would be in based on running position because of Blaney's earlier wreck. Truex did get caught up in that last wreck that brought out the caution, but he was able to get going, and I think he was scored at like 4th when that caution came out. Well, 4 hours later, they finally have the track dry, no lightning. Let's go back racing. There's, I think it was 11 cars at the time of the green flag that were on the lead lap. It might have only been 10. And so it was just like a demo derby with about 4 cars out. Those 4 broke away. It was Cindric, Austin Dillon, Landon Castle, and Landon Castle and Martin Truex for a while. Truex started to fall back once some moves were made because his car was just so damaged and slow at that point. So Tyler Reddick finally catches the front group with Noah Gragson. And at that point, you know, even Cindric said it in his interview, he knew he was a sitting duck. It was 3 Chevys to 1 Ford. Austin Dillon kind of makes a bump on Cindric that got him loose. You know, I thought it was just really more Cindric got loose than it was a bad push, bad, dirty move necessarily. But yeah, Austin Dillon gets around him, and with Tyler Reddick right behind him, kind of blocking every run, Austin Dillon wins the race. And, you know, with Truex's damaged car, he actually lost several more positions and ended up, Ryan Blaney gets in on points. Yeah, you know, a lot of times during that race, it looked like it'd be Truex, and then if it was a new winner, the new winner, or Blaney would get in based on points in that way. But Blaney ends up making it in on points. There were some cars that ended up DQing or DNFing toward the end of the race that just couldn't make it with the damage. And so, yeah, going into the playoffs, we'll have a tight race, you know. So let's go through the final top 10 of this race. You had Austin Dillon, of course, winning the race. Tyler Reddick in second. Austin Cindric ended up coming back and finishing third. Landon Castle in fourth with his best career finish in the Cup Series. Noah Gragson in fifth. Cody Ware in sixth. B.J. McLeod in seventh. Martin Truex Jr. finishes eighth. David Reagan in ninth. And Kyle Busch in 10th. Coming to the checkered flag, David Reagan was the last car in the lead pack. Kyle Busch was somewhere like 25 seconds back at Daytona, so he wasn't even in the picture. You know, congratulations to Austin Dillon. I think Austin is a great guy. I think he gets hated on way too much for his what people call lack of talent. You know, I think he is a talented enough driver deserving of a mid to upper level car, and that's exactly what RCR is. You know, I think that level is about where his talent level suits. You know, a lot of people want to say he's just there because of his granddad's money. There's probably some truth to that, but to say the guy doesn't deserve to win any races, or to be in the playoffs, with how his season's gone, I would say he's in a better spot than some of these playoff guys. more deserving, especially coming down to the stretch. So it's always great to see Austin win. Like I said, Austin's a great guy. I really do like him. He's not a even top or second tier driver, I would say, but he's definitely not deserving of the hate that he gets. So yeah, Austin Dillon wins this race, locks himself into the playoffs. The playoff standings has been set. Now, I am planning on, we will get actually an extra Victory Lane episode this week. Hopefully on Wednesday with my playoff predictions and just kind of breaking down going into the playoffs. And then Thursday we will get another one breaking down Darlington. So, yeah, I'm going to leave y'all with that. It was a great, entertaining race in stretches because of the rain. We got it in little parts. But yeah, make sure if you haven't to definitely subscribe. Victory Lane's going to be coming at you twice a week. Like this week, it'll be 3 times a week, including this video. So we'll have Winner's Circle. Of course, it's going to be on Tuesday and Friday. That's me and Caleb. We're going to be breaking down everything. Probably won't be a whole lot of NASCAR coverage, but I know you guys like football, basketball, baseball. All of that, college football season's going to be ready, so that's what Winner's Circle is going to be focused a lot around this week. Check out all the shows on the channel. Make sure to follow our Next Topic Sports TikTok, the Next Topic Media Instagram, and then my social media, my Instagram stuff will be down below in the description. So, yeah, great race, great Daytona race. Congratulations to Austin Dillon and Ryan Blaney. They're in the playoffs, and we'll see y'all at Darlington next week.